Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to investigate the effect of varying concentration of carbon dioxide on the rate of photosynthesis. That means if there is any change in the concentration of carbon dioxide gas, so how it's going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. If carbon dioxide concentration decreases, so what will happen to the rate of photosynthesis? And if it increases, how it's going to affect the rate of photosynthesis in any plant. Okay, so this experiment we would be performing on any water plant, especially any pond water plant. Okay, in previous videos I have shown you that how to demonstrate that the gas which is liberated in the process of photosynthesis is oxygen. So there we have used the similar type of experimental setup. We have taken a water plant, okay, and then we have taken a water in the beaker we have filled it with water. We have taken water plant, and this water plant is actually inserted inside the funnel, and then this funnel is kept upside down, okay, or from bottom to top, and immersed in the beaker. And then we have taken a normal test tube. We have filled the test tube with water till the brim of the test tube, and this test tube is placed on the stem of the funnel in inverted position. So this is called the stem of the funnel, okay. And here we are using this thermometer in order to maintain the constant temperature of this water, okay. And this is called control variable, or any variable which is kept constant, okay. Now when we are performing this experiment of investigating the effect of carbon dioxide concentration on rate of photosynthesis, so remember here we are actually we have to actually use different concentrations of carbon dioxide in order to perform this experiment, okay. So we are aware that there is a salt called sodium hydrogen carbonate, okay. So instead of taking water in the beaker, we have to take sodium hydrogen carbonate solution, because sodium hydrogen carbonate or potassium hydrogen carbonate, when they dissolve in water, they liberate or they produces carbon dioxide gas. So remember, instead of using water, you have to use sodium hydrogen carbonate or potassium hydrogen carbonate solution of different concentrations, okay. And then you also need a light supply. So you have to, either you can keep this setup in sunlight, or you can use a normal table lamp. And while performing this experiment, remember, in between table lamp and this entire experimental setup, you have to place a tank which is filled with water, okay. You have to place a glass tank filled with water. This is because in physics we have studied that electric current, they produces heat, okay, that comes under heating effect of electric current, okay. So along with light, heat is also produced or given off by the electricity, okay, electric current. So this heat should not increase the temperature of this solution here. The temperature should be kept constant in the entire setup throughout the experiment, okay. So this glass tank which is filled with water has been placed. Now in order to perform this experiment, you have to make sodium hydrogen carbonate solutions of different concentrations, okay. So you can begin with the 0.5%, then 1%, 1.5%, 2%, etc. And instead of adding water to the beaker, you have to add any one concentrated solution of sodium hydrogen carbonate in beaker, okay. And then you have to set up the experiment as shown in this particular picture. Now whenever you are recording the reading, remember you have to record reading by counting the number of bubbles produced per minute. That means how many oxygen bubbles are produced in 1 minute, and you have to take at least 2 to 3 readings, and later on find out the average in order to get the mean value, or the mean number of bubbles which were produced in this particular concentration of carbon dioxide. So what you can do is, here the sodium hydrogen carbonate solution which you have taken, first you can take 0.5% sodium hydrogen carbonate solution, okay, and set up this experiment and keep this entire setup in bright sunlight or in the lamp light, and record your readings for 1 minute, and take your reading for 3 times at least. Okay, so just check out that how many oxygen bubbles are produced here in 1 minute. Then again take the reading, how many oxygen bubbles are produced in another 1 minute. Then finally how many oxygen bubbles are produced in third time. Okay, in another 1 minute, how many oxygen bubbles are produced. You're aware that oxygen gas is liberated in the process of photosynthesis as byproduct. Okay, so in one of the previous videos we have discussed this, and we have proved, or we have demonstrated, that oxygen gas is liberated in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, and this oxygen gas is liberated in the form of oxygen bubbles. Okay, and this oxygen bubbles slowly gets accumulated or gets collected on the top of the test tube. Okay, here on the top of the test tube it gets collected. Okay, so remember this. Now you, after recording your readings, you will understand that as the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increases. But the rate of photosynthesis will increase only up to a certain point, because after that point, or maybe at that point, any other factor which is required for the process of photosynthesis gets limited, or that becomes limiting factor, because that is present in the short supply. Okay, that is present in the short amount. For example, other factor like maybe availability of water for the process of photosynthesis, or light intensity, etc. So remember, all factors which affects the rate of photosynthesis should be present in ample amount, so that rate of photosynthesis can increase. If any of the factor is present in lesser amount, that factor becomes a limiting factor, and hence the rate of photosynthesis will be saturated, will get saturated, or the rate of photosynthesis will not increase after that. Okay, so here you can see in this graph, the rate of photosynthesis is your dependent variable. So that has been plotted on y-axis, and carbon dioxide concentration is your independent variable. So that has been placed that has been labeled on x-axis. Now, as with this graph, you can make out that as the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, the rate of photosynthesis will also increase up to a certain point. Now, at this point, what happened? At this point, some other factor has become limiting factor. Okay, and after this point, the rate of photosynthesis will be constant, or the line or the graph becomes saturated. Okay, because the rate of photosynthesis becomes constant or saturated at this particular point. Now, remember, you have to perform this experiment with different concentrations of sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate solution. Okay, at different concentration, you have to take the average readings, and then you can estimate, or then you can plot graph between rate of photosynthesis and carbon dioxide concentration. Fine. Now I'll show you a short video on this topic. There you will understand how to perform experiment in the laboratory to demonstrate that how carbon dioxide concentration affects the rate of photosynthesis. Now the aim of this experiment is to determine the rate of photosynthesis at different concentrations of carbon dioxide, and the materials required for this entire experiment is like what I have explained in the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and the most important, you require sodium bicarbonate solution of various concentrations like 0.5, 1, 1.5 and 2%. Okay, now you can set up the experiment as shown here in this picture. Okay, here's the laboratory setup. You have to take this conical flask, take water plant. Okay, and then the cut end of this water plant is inserted in this blubber. Okay, and this is your it could be your test tube. Then the rate of photosynthesis at 0.5% solution of sodium bicarbonate. Okay, now you can make out in the right side, you can look here clearly the number of bubbles which are produced. Okay, so look at the arrow. From this end, number of bubbles, or this end oxygen bubbles are actually produced and is being released out of this tube. Okay, so what you can do is you can just count or you can just record your reading for 1 minute. You can count the number of oxygen bubbles produced in 1 minute. And then again, you can take the similar reading for another 1 more minute. And then you can find out the average of these two readings. Okay, so that would be the mean value or the mean number of bubbles, oxygen bubbles produced in 1 minute. Fine. So the average value or the mean value of the bubbles, the average number of bubbles produced in at 0.5% concentration is 41. Right. Now next you have to take 1% sodium bicarbonate solution. Okay, and you have to measure the rate of photosynthesis at 1% sodium bicarbonate solution. Now look at the right side. You can make out here clearly that the oxygen bubbles which are produced at this concentration are little bit higher, or okay, oxygen bubbles are produced at little bit faster rate compared to the rate of oxygen bubbles produced at 0.5% concentration of sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so again you have to record reading for 1 minute. Okay, and then repeat the same step for another 1 more minute, and then you can find out the average. Next, you have to take concentration. Next, you have to take sodium hydrogen carbonate solution of 1.5% concentration. Okay, so at 1% concentration, the average number of oxygen bubbles produced were 52. Now you have to investigate the rate of photosynthesis at 1.5% concentration solution of sodium hydrogen bicarbonate. Here you can make out that the oxygen bubbles are produced at much faster rate compared to the previous two. That means you can make out that as the concentration of carbon dioxide is increasing, slowly the rate of photosynthesis is also increasing. Okay, so remember by looking at these 3 different concentrated solutions, you can make out that as the concentration of carbon dioxide is increasing, okay, or as the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing in this solution, the rate of photosynthesis is also increases. And you have to actually record the reading for 1 minute, and then again repeat the reading for another 1 more minute, and you can make out that you have to actually find out the you have to record reading for 1 minute, and then again you have to record reading for another 1 more minute, and then you have to take average, and you will get the average number of oxygen bubbles produced at 1.5% concentration of sodium hydrogen bicarbonate solution. Okay, so the average number of air bubbles produced at 1.5% concentration was 153. Now the last one is the rate of photosynthesis at 2% of sodium bicarbonate solution. Okay, so here you can make out, you can look here, the rate of photosynthesis here is the fastest, or it is the highest. The number of oxygen bubbles produced here are at the fastest rate. You can easily check out, you can easily make out the difference between the 4. Okay, between all these 4. Okay, so you can easily compare that here the oxygen bubbles are produced at very high or very faster rate compared to the last one. Okay, or compared to the last 3. So this shows that as carbon dioxide concentration increases in the solution or in the pond water, what will happen? The rate of photosynthesis in these aquatic plants will also increase. But remember, the rate of photosynthesis will increase only up to a certain point. Okay, it will increase only up to a certain point because at that point any other factor which is important for the process of photosynthesis will become limiting factor. Okay, the supply of that factor will reduce. Now here also you have to take 2 readings. Okay, and then you have to find out the average of those 2 readings to get the mean value. Okay, so the average number of air bubbles which are produced at 2% sodium hydrogen carbonate solution was 196. So you can just record your observation. You can just record your observation in this table. Okay, you have to take 3 readings. fine. Number of air bubbles at 0% concentration of carbon dioxide for 1 minute, then 0.5%, 1%, 1.5%, like that. Okay. So, and later on you can find out the average of these three readings for every concentrated solution. Okay, and now when you will plot the graph between rate of photosynthesis and carbon dioxide, you will get this type of graph. Okay, because rate of photosynthesis increases gradually as the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, but after a certain point the graph gets saturated as the rate of photosynthesis becomes constant. Okay, after that there will not be any increase or decrease in the rate of photosynthesis. So I hope this experiment was clear to you guys. In next video we will discuss how to investigate the effect of varying temperature on the rate of photosynthesis. Take care till then. Bye bye.